Oh, baby.
Good morning, everybody. Yes, it is Super Bowl weekend. This is episode 244 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. We are back. We're ready to talk some football. Mike, this is the biggest weekend of the year. You might as
Yes, it
well
is.
create a holiday out of this weekend. Mike, there is one, and then there were one game left. This is the
Yes.
one that I love, but I dread the most because once it's done, it is done. How you doing today this morning, sir?
I'm doing great. I would have been a lot better if I actually cleaned up my work area.
Uh, you look fine. You're in your punishment corner. It looks like
Oh, yeah, it was in my punishment corner. I had my kid and I, we had like a little pizza party yesterday, and I had like two pop cans sitting there on camera, and it bugged the crap out of me.
it looks like you were being punished in school when you were sitting in your corner. The only thing that you're missing
Oh,
is the gum on your nose.
and then I'm just having a rough. I've had it like a good day at work. Everything's good here. I thought I was good to record, and then it's just a mess around me.
Yeah. You know how that is, man.
Oh,
It's always something. Always something. Mike, we got a lot to go over today.
mm-hmm.
Uh, we'll knock this out. Get ready for the weekend, Mike. We have a Super Bowl, of course, on Sunday between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. I can't
Yes.
wait. I'm excited. This is my favorite time of the year. Even if the Pittsburgh Steelers aren't participating this weekend, it's okay because again, this is going to be the best football game that you see all year, hopefully. And
Hopefully.
and even if it isn't your team, it's still fun. A lot of people like the commercials. Some people like the Puppy Bowl. Whatever it is,
Oh,
there's a little something for everybody. So
I love the Puppy Bowl.
you love that Puppy Bowl?
I do. How can you not love the Puppy Bowl? It's fun to watch.
I haven't watched it in a couple of years. The thing is, you have to change the channel. And
Yeah, and
when you're
that's a whole lot.
it
You have to hope to get
is.
back in time.
It's a thing. And and then you want to, it's like, okay, well, let's just kind of keep an eye on this halftime show, no matter
Hmm.
who it is, because again, if we have, we want to talk about it on the show, these are things we have to pay attention to. However, maybe this weekend, maybe I will remember to try to switch over to the Puppy Bowl briefly to see what's going on over there.
I'm not. I'm too lazy to turn the channel.
Mm.
And Rihanna's performing, and I don't know. The older I get, I have a thing for Rihanna.
You do?
The older I get, yeah, I just get. Yeah,
I
every
mean,
year it gets stronger and stronger. My feelings for Rihanna.
she's always been hot, of course. I don't know. I just have a hard time chasing these broads around these Hollywood types. So
Hmm.
I really don't get into it like that. But of course she is hot. So no matter who you are, that always should be a treat in some
Yes,
capacity for you.
yes. I can't wait.
Mike, this Super Bowl this week, Super Bowl 57 marks 35 years. The significance of this is 35 years since Dougie Williams won the Super Bowl for the Washington Redskins, becoming the first black quarterback to win the Super Bowl, Mike. And the reason that is important is because this weekend we do have two black quarterbacks starting in the Super
Yes.
Bowl with Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes, which is very exciting. I'm so glad for this to be going down like this. So that makes this 35-year anniversary even a little bit more important, I think, for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I do too. People ask like, why is this a big deal? Remember, it wasn't that long ago when people were saying, Lamar Jackson, if you want to make it in this league, you got to better go play running back or wide receiver.
Yeah,
Look at him now. He's a league MVP.
yeah.
Patrick Mahomes. Oh, well, he played in a spread offense. How good is he going to be? Two-time MVP, just won it again. Jalen Hurts, how good is he going to be? Justin Fields, like it's, you know, yeah, they still get questioned unfairly, and so yeah, it is still a big deal that you have two black quarterbacks starting a Super Bowl. And it's still like look around the league, even coaching wise, it's still a big deal when a black coach makes it to the Super Bowl because there's not a lot of opportunities. There's still
Like
like yeah, it's just it's still big people. It's
it
just,
is, and like I mentioned the other week, I think last week I said, I love football because if ran properly, and it is being ran properly, it is the perfect sport in my opinion for America. It is America's sport. I think
Mhm.
that you have black folks, you have white folks, you have females down on the field being referees. You have everybody from every walk of life in this country involved in this sport in a capacity to where there's a brotherhood. Everyone has each other's back, and you know what? The fan base, most of them. I mean, you have idiots in every base
Yeah.
that you're in, but you know what? This fan base is big. It cares about its players. I do believe that, and I do believe most people that are involved with the NFL are good people. So I think that this is a very special occasion. I think that America will celebrate this along with the NFL, and maybe a sign for greater things to come down the road. So everybody, this is a big game. I love it. This should be, in my opinion, a national holiday. But you know what? That still remains to be seen.
It should, like we were saying, like today and to like or Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, Super Bowl Monday,
Yes,
holidays.
should be a whole week.
I'm just yeah, everyone gets the whole week off.
Yeah.
The whole country shuts down for a week.
And then you know what? The NFL will pick up a whole bunch of more fans. But you know what? Probably give the opportunity to leak some more idiots in. But
Oh yeah.
you know what? I love it. I love the sport. I love the game. I love the people. I'm watching the awards last night. I don't know how many times I was peeling onions because of things that were going on the award show. I'll touch more on that in a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes, I was peeling onions, Mike. It's no lie. It's true. And again, I will touch on that briefly. A couple other things going on, like Brett Favre. Brett Favre is suing Shannon Sharp. Did you catch this? For calling him a sleazeball. Apparently, is that what's going on?
Like, because Brett Favre was called a sleazeball.
Yes.
Yeah, because that whole scandal that they had, ripping off allegedly, because I don't want to get sued.
Yeah, I don't want to get sued by Brett Favre.
Allegedly, ripping off the the welfare system in Mississippi to take money to divert from that to what the like a football pro or like some sort of athletic program at a college that his daughter was going to. And, he's wrapped up in this scandal, and hey, you were involved in it. Shannon Sharp and Pat McAfee. Yeah, they just voiced their opinion on you. You're a public figure, and it's going to be hard to prove defamation, slander, libel, Brett. You're wrapped up in this.
I don't disagree. I think that Shannon Sharp and Pat McAfee should be off scot-free when this is all said and done. I think it's a stupid thing. I think that it cuts into, like you said, it's one's opinion of a situation that went down. That is your freedom of speech. You do have an opinion. And I that I am pretty liberal in that sense. I am all for that. So I think that at the end of the day, Brett Favre is showing the sleazeball that he just may be. Again, I don't know the guy, but you know what? From everything that I am reading and hearing about him, it's going to be interesting to see the way this plays out, Mike. And even if a millionaire like Brett Favre shows up and files for a lawsuit, I think at the end of the day this gets thrown out because it is kind of ridiculous.
Well, he has to worry too. Like if they go into this lawsuit and I don't know if they're still under investigation and what's going on with that whole scandal with that he was wrapped up in. If you go to this and through the discovery phase of the trial and they find out, yeah, you actually did this, dude, you can this could potentially backfire on you because you have to prove that you were not a sleazeball, that you were not involved in the scandal, that you did not help divert money and benefit from the whole scandal that you're wrapped up in. So you got to walk a nice fine tightrope, and you better hope your lawyers know what they're doing.
I was always a fan. I didn't love the guy, but I was always a fan because I am a football fan of Brett Favre. And I liked him. He was out on the field. He had all this energy, excitement. You never knew what he was going to do next. But the longer he's away from the game, and the more his mouth opens, the less I'm liking him. And the thing is, at the end of the day, I am ultimately going to be a fan because I'm a football fan. He was one of the better quarterbacks. I do respect that. But like I said, maybe he ought to just go off into the sunset and keep his mouth shut for a while so people can continue to respect him.
Like I was never a big fan of Brett Favre. I never was. I never liked him. Then when he got popped for all those pain pills and the whole league rallied around him, said, "Oh, it's so sad, it's so tragic, blah blah blah, unfair." Then all the other guys smoking weed, they're criminals, they're thugs. That never sat right with me. Then like the whole Jen Sturger thing when he was sending her dick pics and stuff like that. This guy's just, he right there, that should have been the end of it. Right. You should have just stopped everything right there. Your reputation was tarnished right there. Just go away. Don't do anything stupid.
Yeah.
And you can't stop. Apparently, allegedly, it looks like you can't stop doing stupid shit.
Yeah, and that's not a good sign. If you can't stop doing stupid shit, that certainly doesn't sound like it's going to be very good for you in the long run. Like if I'd said, Mike had said, go away, take your money, take your fame, and walk away with the dignity that you had when you left the game, with the respect that you had when you left the game, because you don't want to go on, he was great. You don't want to go through the rest of your life having people hate you. You did great things. And, the thing is, or stop doing stupid things. I don't know, Mike. I just don't know this guy. I don't know him well enough. I don't know his personal background. But like I said, the more things that I hear, the less I respect him. I think.
Yeah, he's just allegedly a scumbag.
Yeah,
Allegedly.
yeah, and
Some
allegedly a
people some
sleazeball.
some people say he's a sleazeball.
Yeah,
That's what the people are saying.
that's what the people were saying.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, also some Steeler news. Steelers rumored to be interested in Ravens cornerback Marcus Peters. This was reported yesterday by Andrew Filipponi
Mm-hmm.
over on the Fan. I think, Mike, this might be, if this do be the case, because of course it still is just rumor. What would you think about a Marcus Peters pickup?
I wouldn't mind it, but keep in mind, this is Filipponi. He
Right.
grabs a handful of poops in his hand and chucks it at the wall and see what
which
sticks.
which we know, but what, like, just I mean, Marcus Peters, he'd be a pretty good fit back there. You know what I mean? If
He
that be
would.
the case, what do you think, how that would play out financially? Would he fit? I don't know, like, what the guy makes. Do you think he would be a fit if that would happen?
Like production wise, I wouldn't mind having him back there. He's probably better than what we have back there.
Mhm.
No, he is. Oh wow, he signed a 3-year, $42 million contract, and it looks like it expires this year, I believe. I'm having trouble finding it, but I wouldn't mind having him. But he is. Yeah, it expires this year. He's a free agent coming in. He's gonna be 30 years old when the season starts. So if you can get him at a reasonable rate,
Yeah.
to me, 30 is still old for a corner.
I mean, I
That's what,
always
like,
you hear the name, we play the Ravens twice a year. Again,
Mhm.
I don't keep up close on these teams, but
Yeah.
I do know that when we see them twice a year, Marcus Peters is a name that you hear, and a name that seems to step up and make plays. Is he an upgrade from everything that we have right now? If
He only had the one pick last year.
Okay,
Um, let's see. I hate to do this, but I'm going to pull a Pro Football Focus. Gives you a rough idea of how they graded him. They graded him at a 67 overall.
out of 100,
Yeah, I think that's how they do it. Out of like
sounds like my
99 or whatever.
report cards.
I know it sounds like mine too.
That wasn't good. I don't
No,
know
it
if I
wasn't
wanted.
that
I don't know if I
good.
want a
No.
guy that achieved like me.
Exactly. So let me pull up who we have, how they graded us. It's probably if I can even get to it. I ain't paying for their shit because fuck them. Who were our starters? Cam Sutton. Cam Sutton was a 72.
Oh,
Akila Witherspoon, he was a 45.4, so that's an upgrade right there. Levi Wallace was a 62.8. So yeah, technically he is an upgrade according to Pro Football
so
Focus.
if it was a Cam
take-
Sutton, Marcus Peters
duo,
secondary,
I would take that. Yeah, because
that would be better than anything that we have.
Yeah, because Cam Sutton, he's held in pretty, I won't say high regard, but decent regard throughout.
He's
the
done
league.
well.
Yeah, like he's the guy. Like people are gonna, they're looking at him in free agency. Like, okay, where's he gonna go? Because he can help a lot of teams. He can be a number two. He can on the team like the Steelers, he would be a number one. Most
Mhm.
teams, he'd be a number two, and he can play the slot position too. He can play inside, outside.
I like it.
Yeah, so if we get him and Peters, I wouldn't mind it. I don't know who's coming up free agent wise in the corner market.
Yes, right.
Give me 1 second here. I'm going to see if I can find my free agency board here. Oh wow! It was actually set up for cornerbacks. Wow.
Oh yeah, look at that. Look at you.
I know. I actually kind of knew what I was doing. So, yeah, he's probably one of the better corners out there.
So I mean, if we would take,
yeah.
and we would invest in him, then you could maybe approach the draft a little differently. Maybe not try to talk about getting that first round early corner. You could go after your interior lineman, offense and defensively, and then look in the third round, see what's still happening. It would give us a little bit more leeway if that would be the case.
Yeah,
correct?
It would. Yeah, because if you can, yeah, because like I said, man, like you said, excuse me. If you can shore up any position free agent going into the draft, that's huge because that's just going to push it down to where you don't have to kind of like maybe reach for a corner. Hey, we got our guys. We have two who we think are going to be starters. We have, we're still going to have like Levi Wallace on the squad. So like, hey, we got three. If we can get one of these young guys, that's cool. But we don't have to pick them at 17. Between like say if a lineman's there that we want on offense or defense.
And we really need strong line. We really do, man.
And I hate to say it, but I always hate falling back into those cliches, but the Steelers, man, we have a tough time drafting and developing
Corners.
cornerbacks.
You ain't
So
shitting, man.
yeah,
Maybe this is the way to go, or
yeah,
something similar to this.
yeah. Like get your secondary through free agency and then build every position out through the draft because we've drafted, developed defensive linemen, linebackers, wide receivers, every position except corners and safeties. So
Yeah.
might as well get them through. Get them
Like to
through
get a
free
draft
agency.
like the New York Jets had last year.
Oh, get
Jeez, oh
Sauce
man.
Gardner, Garrett Wilson.
Jeez. Again, we'll get back to that shortly, but man,
Yeah.
you can't ask for anything better as far as a draft.
No.
Mike,
Well,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
it's still not as good as the Steelers draft.
Oh,
Of,
that's true. No drafts are ever going to be as good as the Steelers
we're
draft.
going to pluck 4 Hall of Famers and then sign one as a undrafted free agent.
Yes. Mike, let me jump. I'm going to do a little jump. I'm going to play a little hopscotch here because I ultimately do. We're going to talk football. Football is the big topic of the day, but there are a few other things I want to cover on the side. So let's do that. Let's knock it out so we can get back to what's important. Of course, tonight, Mike, the Penguins are back in action. They are out in California playing the Anaheim Ducks. That's going to be at 10 o'clock, a late game. And I know a lot of people don't like these late games. However, it's a Friday. I don't know whether that makes a difference or not, but Mike, the Penguins are back in action tonight against the Ducks.
The Ducks. This is the first game of the West Coast swing.
I hate these West Coast swings.
So do I, but I haven't looked it up because I'm just going to go feelings over facts right now.
Mhm.
That I feel like we've done rather well in the past few years when we go out west.
The only thing that we really struggle with, and I think out of all of our sports, I mean a lot in baseball, but you know what? The Steelers going out and playing the Raiders always seems like to be a big problem. So as long as we're not playing the Raiders,
I think we're going to be fine.
I think we're going to be fine. So I like the Penguins. Mike Jarry is with the team out in California. He was practicing yesterday. Would be nice to see a little bit of him perhaps in this road trip. I'm sure that will help.
Yeah.
Even though the Smith came out and played a hell of a game last game, you just don't know how far that can carry.
Yeah. In this game right here, this is a game like the Penguins should dominate. We should win this game running away.
Okay. I like them games.
Yeah, because Anaheim 17-19 or 17-29-6, Penguins 25-16-9.
Yeah.
But Anaheim though, they're 13-1 at home.
Okay.
So like if Anaheim plays all their games at home, look out, clear Stanley Cup champions here. But the Penguins are also 10-5 on the road. So this should be a good game. Like we should dominate this game.
Nice
John Gibson is not having a good year. He is having a terrible year. 3.89 goals against average, only a 900 save percentage. Like Casey DeSmith is a 905 save percentage and only giving up 3.2 a game. So our backup is better than their starter right now, but that for John Gibson, that has to be the team around him. I don't know a whole lot about Anaheim. I'm looking at their roster. Nothing was really jumping out the page about that.
It'd be nice to keep this streak moving out on the West Coast. We did get started the other night against the Avalanche, of course, in overtime, winning that game. If we could go out west and put a little streak together while out on the West Coast, that'd be a great situation for the Penguins, starting to move forward towards the final run. Mike, story a little, slightly related to Penguins news. Fleury, with the game played last night, he became the 4th all-time games played by a goalie, only behind Martin Brodeur, Luongo, Patrick Waugh, and now Fleury with 972 total games. The total of the all-time leader, Marty Brodeur, is 1,266. Luongo has 1,144. Patrick Waugh, 1,029. And Fleury, like I said, sitting by himself in the number 4 spot at 972. Hang in there, man. At this point in his career, he's already done well. And if he could at least, linger in the league for a while, he could pad up some of his numbers and be considered the great goalie that I know that he's been.
He's 3rd all time in wins.
Yeah, right.
So in 972 games, he has 536 wins.
That's an amazing goalie.
That is insane.
It sure is. I love it. I hope this guy finishes on top. I mean, he still has a long way to go, but you know what? Marty Brodeur seemed to play like he was well into his 70s when he was done. So if Flower can do something similar, I have no doubt in my mind he could certainly get close to it, because you know what? He's almost at 1,000. And you know what? The season's not over. So go Flower.
Like
Mike,
Martin Brodeur, real quick, has his winning percentage is what, 545. Flurries is even higher. It just a little bit higher. It's 551.
probably
So
because the fact he did play so long, I'm guessing made his percentage go down a little bit. Just
yeah,
but
but still,
Mike,
man,
that's amazing. Fleury has been,
yeah,
with the
for
exception of the first 2 years of his career, I think nothing but amazing. And I hope nothing but the best for the man.
oh. Real quick, P. I didn't see you there, buddy. My bad. Yeah, the Ducks in 97, dude. Yeah, with Solane and Paul Correa and all those guys. They were fun, especially back in NHL 97.
Yes. P is on. All right, let me switch over
Yeah.
here so I can
Yeah.
get a little P action. I like the P action.
Whoa. Hey now. Phrasing.
A little.
The Ducks in 97, dude. Oh God, I can hear my voice
Okay, there we
through
go. I'm
yours.
gonna
Oh my God.
eliminate that.
How can anyone listen to what I have to say?
Hell, ain't that the truth? Like
Fuck
some
you.
more Pittsburgh news, something that I found a little bit interesting. David Bednar, Contreras, and Underwood, three pitchers from the Pirates, are all playing in the World Baseball Classic. Wasn't just the other day they were trying to keep the gentleman from South Korea out.
Yes.
You have three different countries being represented here. The U.S., of course, Contreras with the Dominican Republic, and Underwood from Puerto Rico, all representing. And you know what? The Pirates put up a nice post on their Twitter. Good luck. Congratulations in the World Baseball Classic. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on.
I don't
Maybe
like
I'll
this.
dig a little bit deeper and find out what's going on with the gentleman from South Korea. But I as well like this. I like to see these guys representing their countries. I think that'll be cool.
Typical Pirates. We're going to trade for a guy and not let you go and do this.
And not yet.
But everyone else here who, we're expecting them to contribute, and we're also expecting Choi to contribute. But this is how we're going to divvy it up. It makes no sense to me.
I don't like it. Like I said, when we talked about it the first time, the Pirates are already pissing this guy off. So
typical Pirates, man.
typical-
This is typical Pittsburgh Pirates.
Typical Pittsburgh Pirates. No two ways about that. Pitt tomorrow, Mike, at noon. If you want to check out these red hot Pitt Panthers trying to get back in the top 25, they play Florida State. Now, Florida State is the last team that beat them before we started our 4-game winning streak, Mike. So now we are going down. We're going down to Tallahassee to play the Seminoles. Hopefully we could get this win to keep everything going, Mike. I think this is a team that we should beat. I think last time, I don't think that this team should beat us 2 times in a season. I think we're better than that. You get out there, you play a game. I think anything can happen sometime. But like I said, I think that we are better than this team in the sense that I don't think that we should lose to them twice in the same season.
No, they should definitely not lose to Florida State. I mean, Florida State, they're 8-17.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
This is a team Pitt should dominate. It should just be like close to that Louisville game.
Yes. Also, Mike, basketball news. Tomorrow. I'm sorry. The Pitt game is at noon. Everybody check that out. Check it out. Also, a little bit of basketball. One question I have, Mike, when I was watching the celebration for LeBron the other day, he's got the scoring title of all-time scoring in the NBA, of course. What was the picture of Anthony Davis in the background looking like the party pooper in the group? I don't know if you saw it. Everybody in the stadium is up and cheering. The players are up. They're clapping. Everyone's excited for LeBron. And they're like me sitting in the background looking like me was Anthony Davis. He looked like he didn't want to be there. He certainly didn't look excited for LeBron. I don't know what the deal was. Maybe it was a picture worth. I don't know.
It's like I have his quote here right now. He's like, he was pissed that we're losing. He's like, it has nothing to do with Braun. He knows that everyone else outside looking in, it's their opinion. But I was pissed that we were losing the game, and that's fair. That's fair.
You know what? One thing I did read related to that, like there was like 5 or 6 different times that LeBron broke some kind of record. And the team lost on all those games where he broke the record.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
He can't.
Yeah.
He can't win for losing. He can't please anyone.
Losing.
My God. That guy breaks records. Oh, you lost. Oh, you won championships. Well, you didn't win as many as this guy. It's like,
yeah.
I'm
just go out and
everyone
be you.
Everyone wishes they could be me right now, but okay, not good enough.
Just go out there, be yourself, and at the end of the day, it'll all come together for you, brother. You'll be all right, man. I promise.
So fucking funny.
Mike, let me take a look. See here as I switch over. I think we're gonna get back into the important things here.
The real important thing here, P. is an online chess player, and he's fourth in his division.
I seen that and I kind of skimmed over it because I myself am a bit of an online chess player. I'm not really good. I'm good enough. But I am nowhere near the fourth place player that the P is.
No,
Um,
I can play chess.
I like chess. I
I
like
mean
chess a lot.
checkers. Excuse me, checkers.
You said checkers.
I meant to say,
Mike,
as you can see, I'm not smart enough to play chess.
as of last night of last night, Cam Hayward, Mike, it was his fifth time being nominated for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award, which we spoke about a little briefly going into this week. He did not win, of course. Dak Prescott ended up winning that honor.
Yes.
I'm watching. I watched the awards last night,
Mm-hmm.
and Dak Prescott winning to me is kind of a ripoff in a sense. Not because I don't like Dak. It's not because he doesn't deserve it. My thing is this: when you have the NBA or the MVPs and all these things, your players of the year, your offensive player of the year, you never ever. It's always a quarterback, always somebody of a high,
Mm-hmm.
profile position. These linemen, the interior linemen, if anything, let one of these guys win this award just because, as important as a lineman is in the game of football, they get very, very little respect in that sense. I think that, maybe they could have spared Dak Prescott this award and given it to a lineman. I'm not necessarily saying Cam Hayward, but somebody there's a lot of big guys up there, and there's a lot of big guys that play their asses off and have amazing careers. And just because they're not a quarterback, Mike, or they're not a high profile name, which I don't think this award generally does do this.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I just think to myself, maybe you should have kind of given this to somebody that who isn't on a television screen all the time. I don't know. What's your?
I don't know. I'm looking at past winners. We have Andrew Wetworth,
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like guys
Calais
like this,
Campbell, Chris Long.
these are the
JJ
guys that I
Watt.
think should be the people that are in this
Yeah, we had a Jason Witten. He was a
tight end.
yeah, he's a down and dirty guy.
That's
But
what I'm
yeah,
saying. I just think the Dak Prescott thing was
yeah,
go try to win an MVP or something, dude. These
Come on,
linemen get nothing. They get no attention. They get no recognition. They get no accolades.
Come on. Like this is Cam. This is Clam Hayward.
And again, I'm not arguing for Clam.
Again, making it all about him. All
And
about
again,
him. Because he even tweeted out like, "Oh, blah blah blah." They can't
I
see
don't.
what I do.
I'm not.
Once again, this is Cam being.
I'm not lobbying for Cam whatsoever.
I'm just glad Cam didn't win. And
I am lobbying for, like I said, these big linemen that are up there that are just as important in the sport of football than the other guys are that are in the skilled positions. And I would like to see maybe a couple more of these guys win something every now and then. That's all I'm saying.
Nah.
Dak Prescott. Let's go down the list. We have the MVP winner was, of course, Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
I like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm just glad it wasn't Aaron Rodgers. Because he's won ones in some in the past. I'm like, how the hell did he win that? How did he win that?
Seems to me that in this league where everybody's so good, it's hard to pick an MVP sometimes, and sometimes you just kind of go with the gut feeling. And I'm sure there's guys that maybe performed better than Mahomes this year because there was a lot of quarterbacks that did amazing things.
It seems to be a quarterback award,
right?
MVP always.
That's what I'm saying.
Because you could have made a case for Justin Jefferson.
You sure could have. Which we are at right now. The offensive player of the year.
Real quick, Dallas needs some keys delivered so they can bring back the 90s.
Yeah, you ain't shit in there.
That was a good
the offensive player of the year, Mike, as you just named, Justin Jefferson did win that award.
Yes. Well, he had a hell of a year.
He sure did. See, this is what I'm talking about. I'm just saying, these are these are the names that are going to win these awards. Okay, I'll drop the man of the year award, but I don't believe me. I didn't forget. I'm not going to forget. I will not forget this. I think a lineman, and again, not Cam. I just think that maybe somebody other than somebody that other than everybody knows, somebody that's popular. That almost feels like it's turning into the high school popular game again. But again, congratulations, Dak. Also Mahomes, Justin Jefferson, and now on to the defensive player of the year, Mike, Nick Bosa. Again, there's so many good guys in this league. These guys are the top of the top of the food chain, and you could have really picked many people. You really could have. I think Nick Bosa is a nice pick. I
like Nick Bosa. I was leaning towards more of Micah Parsons, not just because he went to Penn State, just because the way he plays like so many different positions on that defense, the way he's so versatile. But I don't have a problem with Bosa winning. But like you said, there's a lot of people. And I
Oh.
even think someone like, I know we're going to mention here in a minute. Sauce Gardner should have been in that conversation too. He might be the best cornerback in the league, and he's only a rookie.
You know what the Jets have going on over there is amazing. Again, we will get to that in just a second. Nick Bosa, like I said, I respect the pick. I think that you could have went so many ways. At some point, it does become a popularity contest, Mike, because you have so many people that are so good that have similar numbers. And I'm not even throwing this guy in the group, but Alex Highsmith's numbers were comparable to Bosa in a sense that he was only I think he was like 3 sacks behind him, but everything else was really comparable. He was behind in tackles a bit, but he was caused more forced fumbles, more a couple.
Yeah, I think Bosa was more of a disruptive.
Oh, no, like I was saying, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that you could even stick a guy like Highsmith and put his name in the mix of players because he had a good year. But these guys are the best of the best. Mm-hmm. And once you get to that certain level, Mike, you just got to pick somebody. I could respect the Bosa pick. Good for him. The next one we have is the coach of the year. My coach of the year, where Tomlin did receive 3 votes, believe it or not. Like Tomlin received 3 votes. Yeah, you're gonna have to help me with your guy from New York's last name.
I was
Badal, Brian Badal,
Dabble. I don't know. Brian. I'm gonna call him Brian Debo, like the voting machine, because he rigged this vote to win.
Yeah, I don't get the Giants coach, but go ahead, please explain this.
To me, yeah, for where that team was last year, their record to where they are now, they made it to the playoffs. This team was like a laughing stock. They didn't even do anything
great, though. It wasn't like they did this amazing.
But no, it was like that huge turnaround from where they were to here. And this team was supposed to be down and out. Like, Barkley was supposed to be a bum, Daniel Jones a bum, the defense, everything was supposed to be trash, and they turned it around. And now I would like him and my God, I'm blanking on his name, but the coach of the Jaguars. To me, if either one of those won, I had no problem with. So I have no problem with Brian Dabble, D-Bowl, D-Bag, Dime Bag, whatever his name is, winning coach of the year.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce American last names. Now, you give me a hockey player's last name, a soccer player's last name, professional cyclist's last name, rolls off the tongue.
Mike, we covered everything when we named ourselves the Dumb Yinzers. We don't have to be correct in everything that we say. We are covered right here. If anybody ever accuses us of not knowing what we're talking about or being very, we covered it right here. So
yeah,
you're covered. Don't worry about it, brother.
I'm a dumbass.
You're a dumb man. Accept it.
Spelled D-U-M.
P just wrote Mike from the New York Who. He's the Giants coach.
Giants. If I said Jets or whatever.
No, you said Giants, but we mentioned the Jets a few times, so I can see how that could be confusing. But yes,
I confuse myself.
He is the head coach of the Giants. Yes, I've barely ever heard of this guy either. But you know what? Good for him. I don't want to take anything away from anybody's awards. These guys all deserve it. They're all special players. Good for them. Coaches, good for them. Comeback player of the year. Mike, your guy. Yes. You've been talking about this guy since the very beginning of the year. And Mike and I would say from day one when we played the Seattle Seahawks in game 1. I don't even recall if he played. I don't remember what the situation was, but I do remember you spoke highly of Geno Smith the whole entire time, all season long. You took teams in your picks all season because of Geno Smith. Geno Smith, comeback player of the year. You know what? I couldn't have nailed one better than this.
And it was well deserved too. And I like to see it was from a player who actually,
I like him a lot. Man.
Like earned it because like a lot of the times it's someone who was hurt and then they came back and play. Like, oh, they blew out their knee and they're coming back to play. That's no big deal. Like when Alex Smith almost lost his leg, came back and won comeback player of the year. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Or it's like a guy who had a bad year, then comes back and just has a great year. No, Geno Smith was like, second round draft pick, should have been a first round draft pick that year. People thought he was done and out of the league. No one knew he was a backup. And then boom, like the end of last year, he started playing a little bit here and there. And then this year, man, he showed he's a capable NFL starter, like a top half of the league starter, and much well deserved. And I'm glad to see it didn't go to a player who's coming off an injury or just a down year, someone who actually battled their way back.
I tell you what, I've always liked Geno. I liked
Yes,
him
he
out of West
survived the
Virginia.
Jets.
I liked him. I was kind of sad when he got drafted by the Jets, of course, like everybody else. But Geno, he is certainly the guy. I don't think anybody in this league should have won the comeback player of the word other than Geno Smith. Congratulations, sir.
Geno.
Like the offensive and defensive the rookie of the year. I'm going to tie these together, obviously, for a reason. Yes, the Jets. The Jets, one more time. I don't think that anybody's ever talked about the Jets this much in any show, anywhere, anytime. But the offensive player of the year, rookie of the year, I'm sorry, and the defensive rookie of the year, my guess they were both New York Jets. On the offensive side, Garrett Wilson, the receiver, and on the defensive side, of course, Sauce Gardner, the CB. Mike, these guys are special. These guys are young. These guys are going to be what I think starts to turn the Jets around, and probably what started to turn the Jets around early in this season. Of course, again, they were rookies as well as they played.
Yep.
You know, you do run into a certain point that it kind of, you hit that wall. And I think maybe perhaps that might have had a little bit to do with the fall off at the end of the year with the Jets. But they are, Mike, they're two more players closer to being a decent team again. So, you know, let's see what they could do in a draft this year. I don't know where they pick, but it can't be too bad.
I forget where their pick is, but my God, they have some, you know, Breece Hall, he got hurt and he was tearing up the league right before he got hurt. God, they took him in the second round. They took Garrett Wilson in first round, top 10, I believe. Sauce Gardner with the 4th overall pick this year. That a damn good draft. And I'm pulling up their draft picks now. They pick 13th overall this year. So they're going to have Mike. Yeah. For like how strong they started, you know, they did fall off. They finished 7-10. My God, if they have another good draft, look out. This is a team on the rise. They have a good defense, man. They have pieces on the offense. They need a quarterback. They need a goddamn quarterback.
You know, and
now,
ultimately,
do I think they're going to get one at 14 that's going to start? No. But my God, look, if they can get a quality NFL quarterback, this is a team that can do some damage.
You want to be, if you're the Jets, in my opinion, you want to be the thorn in the side of the Buffalo Bills for the next 10 years. You want to keep New England back. You want to keep the Dolphins back, or any one of those three teams. They need to become the thorn in the side of Buffalo that makes that an interesting division, that makes an interesting showdown, and kind of keeps the the other teams back. I think, like you said, these Jets with that high, decent pick, they should be able to pick some, and I don't know what they have beyond that. Free agency, things like that going on. Maybe Mike, this Jets team can start to go back to the heyday of 1969.
And like P, man, Jet fans that aren't in the closet, you have to tip your hat to them. Because my God, it's like being a Browns fan or
I seen one once.
Yeah. You seen a Jets fan?
Yeah. I was on a tour bus and we all stopped and watched the bus.
You just like driver at him? Like,
over on the right. Yeah, it was a whole thing. I forget the gentleman who won. Matter of fact, I didn't even care about the gentleman who won. I don't know who he was. All I noted is what the Najee Harris did not win the Angry Run of the award. They showed the angry runs, and they were all angry. I like Najee. He's a Steeler, but you know what? They were all impressive. Angry Run of the Year.
Oh God, I can't.
Mike, this show was hosted by Kelly Clarkson.
Oh God.
You know who Kelly Clarkson is?
Yeah.
He's a singer. She had this big Dallas Cowboys dress on the whole time. And for that and that alone, it was very hard for me to take this show seriously. And you know what else was really stunk about the show? And don't get me wrong, I liked the show. I thought it was really well put together. There's way too much fluff. You could have literally did this show in probably 35 to 45 minutes. They stretched it out for 2 hours, and it was a bunch of fluff and bands playing and people singing and so it was hard to watch in a sense. Like I said, and Kelly Clark, something that the Cowboys. So at first I thought this is going to be a long 2 hours, and it was because they stretched things. But you know what? After a while, you see Terry Bradshaw, you see Mel Blount, you see Najee, you see Cam, you see. The Beaver County here where we're at, the connections, Ty Law introduced Darrelle Revis. You had Joe Namath out there introducing Najee being the Alabama connection. So once it started getting into, it became a whole Pittsburgh show. Of course, it was a great event, and I enjoyed watching it. But Mike, there was a lot of fluff, and I that's why I don't like these award shows. I don't watch them much. But I think the nicest thing that does have a connection, Well, of course, they did a nice tribute for the people who passed away this year. Franco Harris was in that, and the Damar Hamlin, they did a nice thing for him where they had all the doctors, all the nurses from Buffalo and Cincinnati come up on the stage, and then they
Oh,
had
that's
Damar
cool.
come up. He came up, and like I said, everybody was peeling onions, the whole thing, and it was a great show. Like I said, take away the fluff and Kelly
Oh yeah.
Clarkson and all that kind of stuff. It was not a bad show. The whole thing was, it was nice. It was nice. I was
Yeah.
glad I watched it.
Yeah, that's the bad thing about those shows, and like in any industry, there's a lot of fluff.
Oh,
Like you can trim a lot of fat in these shows to tighten it up to where it be cleaner, slicker, faster. But I
mm,
understand, it's the almighty dollar, man. Got to stretch it out to get that ad revenue.
yes, yes. But my couple things, I got a lot here, so just let me go at it for a while.
No, do your thing.
Um, well, one thing that did happen last night, Aliquippa, Pennsylvania, where Darrell Revis is from, also Ty Law, everybody, which is right here in our backyard. They, by getting Darrell Revis into the Hall of Fame, now have more players in the NFL Hall of Fame than West Virginia University, amongst other colleges. But it's extra nice being that it's West Virginia. And after MJ Devonshire stole the heart of West Virginia's football team this year and took the interception to the house to win the game, and now this,
Mhm.
West Virginia's just got to be out of their mind with these
That is
Aliquippa guys.
that is insane. That this small
Single A
community
school, literally. It's
in Western PA, that is, let's be honest here, demonized for the most part in the area. They produce Hall of
unbelievable,
Fame.
man.
How many Hall of Famers do they have?
Aliquippa, I'm not
My
sure. I just
God,
know that they have more
this
than
is
West Virginia.
yeah. They have
There's Mike Ditka. I know
Mike,
Mike
yeah,
Ditka's
and
in
Mike
there.
Ditka, Darrell Revis, Ty Law, correct?
Ty Law.
Yeah, there's three right there. That's insane. It's a small little school.
It's wild. And then the other, and they constantly have players pumping out. There's guys all through college, all
Mhm.
through, so you gotta respect what they do. Again, this school, they're single A, they're so good. The state actually bumps them up about 4 classes. They went up to 5A last year. People won the state championship, being bumped up 5 classes. You only got 23 kids on your squad. This small little school in Western Pennsylvania, it's amazing. If you don't know about it, it's called Aliquippa, everybody. Aliquippa. Um, Mike, so we had Ty Law introducing Darrell Revis
Yeah.
last night. But let me give the Hall of Fame modern players, and then we'll give the Hall of Fame old timers. We'll talk about that a little bit. Like I said, I got a bunch going on here. So for the Hall of Famers that made it in last night from modern times, we have Rondé Barber. Rondé Barber,
He was one of the better corners to play.
and he was on that great team in 03. He was a part of that whole thing in
He was a
Tampa
corner,
Bay.
right? Yeah. Corner.
Yes. Tiki was the running back.
Yeah.
DeMarcus Ware. DeMarcus Ware, another great one. That
one of the best pass rushers I hated him because he was a Cowboy.
yeah, that was the thing. Yeah, because Jerry
If he
Jones
was on any
introduced him.
other team in the league, I would have liked him a whole hell of a lot more, but he was a cow.
But you watched him come out of college. You knew he was going to be something because he was such a great player. Landed himself in the Hall of Fame. Pretty awesome. Next, my good player we talked about yesterday was Joe Thomas. Joe Thomas, of course. I tell you what, when this guy came out on the stage, he looked like a quarterback. He really took care of himself and got back into shape. And Mike, I thought it was like Matt Hasselbeck. I mean, it just had that slim build,
Yeah, when I was looking for like a picture to use yesterday, I put in Joe Thomas and Google image, and one of them was like him shirtless, and he had like abs on abs on abs. My dude is built like a Greek god.
Yeah, he did. It was unbelievable. Like I said, at first I thought it was like a Matt Hasselbeck or something, because you're not seeing him in their uniform. I don't really recognize him because he's not on my team. I thought, who is this guy? Who's this young quarterback that's up for Hall of Fame? But you know what? It was Joe Thomas. Congratulations, man. Good for you, brother. Like Zach Thomas, one that you had said was not going to make it in. He did because he is one of the better linebackers. He beat out every single receiver, Mike, that was in for running. Andre Johnson, Holt, Reggie Wayne, even Devin Hester, Mike, all these players They did not make it in. Zach Thomas did make it in. I think that's amazing. Good for you. I think the lack of receivers this year was kind of weird. I think at least one of those guys should have got in, but maybe next year.
I don't know. Zach Thomas, don't get me wrong, he was a damn good player. I just didn't see it. I didn't see it, but
maybe these receivers should be in the Hall of Very Good. And Zach Thomas is in the Hall of Fame now.
Devin Hester should be in the Hall of Fame. He's the greatest kick returner of all time.
Well, the voters think otherwise.
The voters are fucking morons.
There you go, everybody. Darrelle Revis, of course, being the number 5, the 5th
Revis
guy.
Island, baby.
Revis Island.
He was almost a Pittsburgh Steeler. Oh God, I wish we'd had.
Yeah, you know what? And there was a time like the Ty Law almost was too. I could recall right around the time of Ben. And Ty Law was, it wasn't early and it wasn't late in his career. It was right in the middle. But there was talk, and I remember reading the paper and getting excited. I thought, Ty Law, and then again with Revis. Boy, did we miss on a couple corners, man.
Bullshit.
The old timers, Mike. Let's see, cornerback Ken Riley, who is deceased, got in. A defensive lineman Joe Klecko, linebacker Chuck Howley, and finally coach Dan Coryell, who's also deceased. Mike, those 5 guys were from the non-modern list that are that made the Hall of Fame last night. Let me run down the players that did not make it in, because there are a bunch. Torrey Holt, Andre Johnson, Devin Hester, Reggie Wayne, Dwight Freeney, Jared Allen, Willie Anderson, Darren Woodson, Albert Lewis, Patrick Willis. These guys unfortunately didn't make it, but you know what, guys? We have next year, and maybe we could see a couple more Steelers in the finals next year. Yeah. Also, Mike, noting that 2 of the guys that made it in, Darrelle Revis and Joe Thomas, they were both first ballot guys. They both got in on their first ballot.
That's awesome.
That's always impressive. And being one of our guys from Aliquippa, that's always something to celebrate. So again, congratulations to all those guys. Great job, everybody. I think, again, I thought the show was amazing. If I had a chance to do it again, I would probably record it and zoom through everything that wasn't important, which was, like I said, about 90% of the show. Nonetheless, Mike, great show. Congratulations, Hall of Fame class of 2023. Great job, everybody.
Yes.
Good. Some other things that did stand out to me, Mike, with the way that the things played out last night. This is the list of top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, top 10 teams who have people in the Hall of Fame. These are college teams, okay? USC, since adding the assistant coach last night from the old timers list, Dan Coryell, USC has 14 guys in the Hall of Fame, Mike, followed by Notre Dame, who has 13. Michigan has 11 guys. Ohio State has 10. The Pitt Panthers, with adding Darrelle Revis, they are tied in 4th place all time with Ohio State, 10 players in the Hall of Fame out of Pitt. Miami has 9, Alabama 8, Syracuse 8, Minnesota 7, Illinois 6. So there you have it. If these are any of your colleges, it's really awesome that you are in that top 10 list. I'm excited for Pitt. Like I said, they jumped up from 5th to tied in 4th with Ohio State with 10 players. And for anybody keeping record, the players are Darrelle Revis, Jimbo Covert, Mike Ditka, Chris Dolman, Tony Dorsett, Russ Grimm, Ricky Jackson, Dan Marino, Curtis Martin, Joe Smith. That is your 10. And I believe with Larry Fitzgerald and Aaron Donald out there in the league, I do believe sometime over the next, how many years, that will be 12. We will have 12 guys, and that would put us right now in 2nd place all the time. So just time will tell. Got to wait on that. And for people that like Mike, I also took the liberty of getting the Penn State guys just so we didn't forget them. They have 6 who would be tied in that 10th spot, Mike. They had Jack Ham, Franco Harris, Mike Munchak, David Robinson, Henry Moore, and Mike Malashki, Michal.
Oh God, I know the name. I can't pronounce it.
So there you go. We didn't leave everybody out. There was there you go, everybody. There is your Pitt. There's your Penn State. Top 10 schools that have have Hall of Famers, which is an amazing list. Great job, everybody. Mike, for the last 10 minutes, I want to play a little game with you. It's going to kind of tie into the question of the day. But it's kind of stretched out, and you'll see why.
All right.
Let's do this first. We have to make our predictions because we can't forget that.
No, we cannot.
Mike. So this weekend, we'll come back to the game. This weekend, of course, Philadelphia Eagles, Kansas City Chiefs should be a great football game. Patrick Mahomes,
Oh yeah.
Jalen Hurts. Mike, I understand that you want the Eagles to win this. Is this correct?
Not that I want them to win. Yeah, I do want them to win because I'm not a big Andy Reid fan. But yeah, I'm rooting for the Eagles. In this one,
Okay.
I know that is kind of weird. Someone from Pittsburgh rooting for a team from Philadelphia, but as long as it's not the Flyers, I don't feel icky. But I think that this team, they have their defense is a really good defense. I think they're going to be able to not stop, but more or less contain that Kansas City offense, and their offense is good enough to kind of keep pace with with the offense of Kansas City. They have weapons.
That was going to be my next question.
They
for
can
you.
run too, man. Philly has a damn good run game,
What
and
was
that
the
offensive line is amazing.
what kind of pace do you expect from this game? I mean, you know these two teams. I mean, Mahomes could score in about 3 seconds from anywhere on
Oh
the
God,
field.
yeah.
You see the way that the Philadelphia could just impose their will on teams. What kind of game do you think this is going to be? I mean, a lot of people would suspect this to be a shootout. I'm seeing predictions of both teams being in the 30s, 41-37, give or take. What kind of pace do you see? And like I said, the obvious would be the obvious, but you and your distinct dumb Yinzer prediction, what kind of pace do you think this game is going to take?
I think that's going to be God, like a stop. Like it's gonna
Okay.
go, then slow down, then go, slow down.
Okay.
So one of the I can see Philly coming out like, hey man, we're just gonna run, pass, and then get the and then Kansas City trying to go pass, and then Philly going, you know what? We're just gonna run.
Nice game of chess.
Yes, like do a
Going back to
methodical game.
yes.
And then Kansas City's like, okay, we'll play along. Quick strike. Then Philly's like, okay, you want a quick strike? We'll quick strike. Then Kansas City like, we'll scale it back. And then Philly's like, okay, we'll scale it back. And I think it's gonna have that weird, like not an even flow, but kind of like I said, man, like a chess, like you said, a chess game.
I think it is going to be a
chess a lot.
chess. That is my take, Mike. I do think it's going to be a chess game. I think that you're right. I think it is going to be a stop, start. Once you figure out how to stop this, they're going to do this. And it's going to go back and forth. I do think this game will get both of these teams into the 30s just because of the talent they have, the way that both of these teams can move the ball and score points. I think that I don't know if I think for a second while I talk, because I'm going to try to think of a prediction for my score. This means nothing. This has nothing to do with our pick or our tiebreaker. We'll do tiebreaker separately. I think that like I said, I like both of these teams in the 30s. I think if one team wins 39-36, I think that would be very pretty much nose on for where I'm thinking it's going.
I could see like a 35-28, 35-30 type of game.
Okay.
I think the game's going to be, there's going to be some scoring to it. I think it's going to be a close game up until the end. I think, it's going to be that weird, like pick six.
Yeah.
At the end is going to make the game look more lopsided than it was. I think it's going to come down to where teams down by like a touchdown could win it, and a boneheaded play happens or a great defensive play happens, comes back, boom, touchdown, and score looks worse than what it actually is.
Yeah, that I could see that
because, like I said, man, like both offenses can score. Kansas City's defense is they're underrated, not as good as Philly's defense.
Let me ask you: do you think, Mike, that when this is all said and done next week, when we're talking about this game, do you think that people are going to be complaining about the referees?
Yes. They do in every Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like someone's gonna be like, "Oh, the refs called everything against this team," and you go back and look, like, no penalties were even. It's just when the fouls occurred. But I think they're, it's gonna happen. The refs are gonna mess up somewhere. That's all anyone's gonna want to talk about. Instead of, I think both quarterbacks are gonna have hell of a games, even though both defenses gonna have a hell of a game too at the same time. You know what I mean? They're gonna. Everyone's gonna be making plays. I think Mahomes is gonna make plays. Jalen Hurts is gonna make plays. Both
this is such a star-studded Super Bowl, and we kind of missed out with that last year. And don't get me wrong, the Rams and Bengals were two very good teams, but it just feels really star-studded. And like I said, just the way that these two teams Hey, I was going to say maybe just Philly, but both of them. I mean, they're sitting there with the same record. Were able to impose their will
Yeah.
on their opponents this year. I'm excited about this. I think people are excited about this Super Bowl 57. Mike, I know I sure am.
I am too. One thing to keep an eye on, like
Mhm.
we're hearing a lot in the lead up to how like physical and how handsy the secondary is for the Eagles. It's
Yes.
like they're putting it out there to like let the officials know, hey, take a look at these guys.
Mhm.
Take a look at them. So I'm expecting a tight called game on the Eagles secondary. To
We
where
should do that next year before we play the
any
Bengals. We
yeah,
should
like
everyone
any
should send
borderline,
letters.
yeah, any borderline call, I have a feeling it's going to go against the Eagles secondary just because the refs, that's all they're hearing. They've been hearing how bad they have been. I just have a feeling you're going to see one or two pass interference calls on the Eagles, and then you're going to see the same thing happen with Kansas City's defenders and nothing be called. I
You
just
know
have
what?
that
I
feeling
could see absolutely, Mike. I think that
because this is about the way it's been talked about.
yeah, right. And I think 60,000 Yinzers next year before we play the Bengals should do the same thing. We should all write letters to the NFL to keep their eye on the hands of the Bengals because these guys, in my opinion, are big for this. But that's
Oh yeah.
besides the point. Mike, of course, there can be no tie because you have the Eagles and I have the Chiefs. So
Mhm.
tiebreaker is out. My last question about this before we move on is MVP. Give me who you think because it's got to be on your team. I'll pick mine from my team. Who do you think is going to Disney World on Monday?
Oh,
I'm going to come right out the guy and
yeah, it's gonna. Yeah, the MVP I already have it picked right now. It's gonna be either Jalen Hurts or Patrick Mahomes.
exactly. That's where my guy was Mahomes.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go.
So what should be someone off the board? Some guy we'd never heard of.
It could be that
Like
guy.
it's
That
gonna be
who's
a
that
Larry Brown.
receiver?
It's gonna be a Larry Brown type situation. Like,
Right.
who is this guy?
Yeah, or Dexter Jackson. Remember?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Dexter Jackson was actually the MVP of Super Bowl 30. Who?
Mm-hmm.
So there you have it, Mike.
That is true, Pete. The league wants Mahomes to win, especially since his idiot brother and his idiot wife shut up.
Oh, I hate that wife. So there we are. I have the Chiefs. Mike has the Eagles. He has Hurts. I have Mahomes. No tiebreaker. I'm right around 39-36. Mike's right around 35-30 or 35-28. At this point, I don't care to win. I'm just so excited. If I win, it's just more bragging that I get to do on the show. But you know what? If it doesn't happen, I'm okay with that as well.
I do have a Super Bowl nugget that I think no one has talked about.
Okay.
Have you heard that the Kelsey brothers are playing against each other?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just now found out about this. Breaking news, everyone. The Kelsey Bowl is on.
You know what? I'm glad that we didn't even bring that up once during this whole 2 weeks. I can't take it anymore. I can't take it anymore.
Like those two dudes are funny. I watched their podcast. I watched snippets of their podcast. They are hysterical. It's just everyone else around it talking about them is like, no, don't ruin this for me because these two are hysterical. Don't make it all about them. And I
think it's all about the mom.
I don't know if you saw clips of her on their podcast with them. Oh, it was hysterical.
Really?
Oh yeah, and their dad too. Oh, now to me, I would rather have them on the Steelers than any of the Watts. Give me the Kelsey family over the Watt family.
There you go. Mike, real quick, you want to do a secondary MVP just because the obvious would be Hurts and Mahomes. Oh. I think it could either, in my opinion, I think like say there's something that goes down and Kelsey, he's just such a big name guy and something could happen where he could, I don't know. Yeah. Kelsey's my number two.
Damn.
And who's that big guy, that receiver that had 3 touchdowns against us?
Like AJ, I can see like AJ
he
Brown,
is a freaking beast, man.
AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, or if they go to the run game, like Gainwell or Miles Sanders.
Yeah. I think those running backs have to do a lot or have a very, very special play at the end, along with a pretty damn good game in order to land a running back.
Like, or like their defensive line goes off for the Eagles. Someone like Fletcher Cox, someone towards the tail end of his career having a monster game,
right?
Like have a couple sacks. Yeah, I could see it.
It's going to be a great one, everybody. Super Bowl 57. Like, we have to move on. We are running late on time. This here is what I put together the top 5 states, okay,
Okay.
and we're gonna have it more of a discussion for more than a trivia, I think, because there's a lot to it. We're looking at the top 5 states that produced the most quarterbacks that played in Super Bowls. Okay.
Okay.
And the states are number 1 being California, number 2 being Pennsylvania, 3 Louisiana, 4 Texas, and number 5, Mike, Ohio. Ohio, more because of recent play, of course. Let's go backwards. These are the top 5 states that have quarterbacks that played in the Super Bowl, not one, but played in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Ohio, Joe Burrow, Len Dawson, Roger Staubach, and Big Ben Roethlisberger.
He's the only one who won.
Staubach won. Cowboys.
No, that's right. Yeah. He was with the Cowboys. My bad.
So, I mean, you take Ben and Burr, the 2 most recent, that was go back to your Dawson and Staubach. Again, 4 amazing players, but this is Ohio, Mike, the 5th state that has the most quarterbacks played in the Super Bowl. Number 4, Texas, Jalen Hurts, Nick Foles, Matthew Stafford, Drew Brees, and Patrick Mahomes.
Oh
they
my
had
God.
5.
If the Eagles win, all 5 will have won a Super Bowl.
Yes.
That is insane. Texas would be 5 for 5. Figures it would be Texas.
Yes, and and take out the past take out the past decade. The Texas really had none. I mean, take Hurts out, Foles out, Stafford out, Mahomes out, and then Breeze from the last decade.
Yeah.
So there you have the second. That would be the 4th team with the amount of quarterbacks that played in the Super Bowl. Going to number 3, Louisiana, Mike, Dougie Williams.
No way.
Dougie Williams was from Louisiana.
I did not know that.
Yes, sir. Amazing. David Woodley, Terry Bradshaw, Stan Humphries, Chargers.
Yeah.
Jake Delhomme, and Eli and Peyton Manning. And that's the 3rd state with the 3rd most amount of quarterbacks that played in the NFL.
So if you take Terry Bradshaw, then all the other quarterbacks and add them up, Terry still has more Super Bowls. Just going to throw that out there.
Yes, because Stan didn't win. Eli and Peyton, they have 4 tied. 2 and 2.
That's right. They have 2 each. Yeah.
So between Terry Bradshaw and the Mannings.
Yeah. I only count Peyton's first one. So that second one,
I know.
He's like that dude who never shows up for the group project. And
I hate that. I always think the same thing.
He's the Trent Dilfer. That was his Trent Dilfer Super Bowl.
The second best state in the land that has the most amount of quarterbacks that played in Super Bowls, Mike, would be Pennsylvania with 9. So Ohio had 4, Texas had 5, Louisiana has 7, Pennsylvania has 9, and the 9 are Johnny Unitas, Kerry Collins, Dan Marino, Joe Namath, Jim Kelly, Jeff Hostetler, Joe Montana, Matt Ryan, and Rich Gannon.
Figures Matt Ryan had to be in there, Mr. 28-3. Jim Kelly, Mr. 0-4.
Yeah.
Thank God Joe
The
Montana
2 biggest
and United.
The 2 biggest comebacks in playoff history, 2 of those quarterbacks are in that list.
Thank God for Namath and Montana.
Yes.
To bail us out.
And finally, that's the second state that had the second most amount of quarterbacks that played in the Super Bowl. And finally, California, the country that they call a state, population-wise, California has 13, Mike. And these are Tom Brady, John Elway, Trent Dilfer, Vince Ferragamo, Tony Eason, Daryl LaMonica, Colin Kaepernick, Aaron Rodgers, Goff, Jim Plunkett, Billy Kilmer, Joe Kapp, and Craig Morton. Your 13 participating quarterbacks from California. You have a couple.
Tom Brady alone, they win the quarterback battle for Super Bowls. That's not fair.
You're right. Yeah, he has more. Yeah. So those are your California
Jesus.
born participating in Super Bowl quarterbacks. There's some good names in there.
Oh, yeah.
Aaron Rodgers had one. Brady had 50. Elway won a couple at the end of his career.
Yep.
Dilfer won the one.
Kaepernick was this close.
Let's see. Goff came close. I don't know if I think Jim Plunkett won.
Goff, he was a backup for the Eagles. He has a ring.
Was he a back? No, he was the Rams. Jared Goff?
Jared Goff. He started out with the Eagles, man.
No, he was a Ram. He got drafted by the Rams. He played in the Super Bowl, lost 13-3 to the Patriots a few years back, and then got traded in the Matthew Stafford trade with Detroit. Now he's the Detroit quarterback.
Who am I thinking? Who am I thinking? Oh, I was thinking of the dude Carson Wentz. My bad. Oh, wow. Yeah. God, I don't think I fucked that one up.
I don't think he was born in a state. He might have been hatched.
Oh my God, I totally fucked that one. No, my apologies. My apologies to Jared Goff.
Andy Dalton might have been hatched.
Yeah, Andy Dalton and Carson Wentz were both hatched. Jesus Christ.
But that was fun. That was interesting, Mike. There you go. Top 5 states that had quarterbacks that participated in the Super Bowl. Number 1, the country state, California, 13 players. Pennsylvania has 9. The Louisiana has 7, Texas 5, Ohio 4. And like I said, you take these last 10 years out. I mean, these lists change dramatically. So very interesting, very interesting. Mike, Super Bowl weekend. I do want to say that we were scheduled to have the guys from Too Open-Minded in this morning. However, so much happened. The awards happened. We will be talking to those guys next week. They'll be by to talk about their podcast. The guys, they are right down the hall from us here at the studio. Too Open-Minded. In the meantime, check them guys out over the weekend on YouTube. Mike, do you go ahead and tell everybody about the website, man?
Yeah, I will tell real quick after, P said he would have been a quarterback. He had the accuracy, but no zip. He sounds like Chad Pennington.
Okay.
P Morton's actually Chad Pennington, everyone. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah. P's identity has totally been sealed from us from the get-go. So
he's Chad Pennington.
Now you are Chad Pennington, yes. Until you can prove otherwise, we're going to think you're Chad Pennington. Go ahead and tell everybody about the website.
TwoDumbYinzers.com is the number 2 DUMYINZERS.com. Head on over there. We have links for everything that you need for Two Dumb Yinzers. Links to YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, everything, Facebook, email address, everything you need. TwoDumbYinzers.com.
There you go, everybody. Go check that out. We are live every day through the week, Monday through Friday, from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Please keep continuing to check us out. We appreciate each and every one of you. And every show that we do every day gets uploaded in the evening of that day over on Spotify. So if you like this show, 8 o'clock tonight, you can go over on Spotify and check it out in podcast form to, if you're at work, if you're in the car, anything like that. The show is readily available in podcast form over at Spotify. I do want to give a special thanks to P. I did not push you back today. There was just a lot going on. One thing that I did get from this is P does not like the Patrick Mahomes' wife is something that I did see in his board here. You amongst everybody else on the planet. And also you are Chad Pennington until you prove otherwise.
To prove otherwise, he's Chad Pennington.
But Mike, do you have anything before we take off, man?
Oh, I can't believe I'm going to say this. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Ugh. Yeah, that just felt dirty.
That felt dirty.
But hey, everybody, Super Bowl 57. We hope you enjoyed the show today. We'll be back Monday to talk Super Bowl. We'll dig into it. We'll tell you our thoughts on how everything played out, see where we were right, see where we were wrong. All kind of good stuff. Everybody, have a great Super Bowl weekend.
Yes.
Stay safe. Enjoy the game. You know what? For Ryan, Mike, the Two Dumb Yinzers,